unfiltered and unbothered. We don't ask, we don't falter. Sit down, lean in. Why bother to pretend? Unfiltered and unbothered. This is Bone Talk. Go harder. If you press, then press play. Let it begin. Yeah.
Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Unfiltered and Unbothered, the podcast where the opinions are loud, the laughs are louder, and apparently, so are the emotional baggage fees. It's your girls, Kimmy, Lace, and Gist, and today we're uncorking all the things we bottled up and probably should not. From petty frustrations to full-on silent breakdowns disguised as, I'm fine. Yeah, we're going there. Grab your drink, your group chat, and maybe your therapist, because this one, woo! How are we today, ladies?
You know, after that opening, I am fantastic and so stoked for this conversation.
I'm
Yes, I
also
think this is
doing
about
really
to get
well.
real.
It's always about to get real.
Good.
Up in here, up in here.
All right,
There we go.
DMX,
That's what I'm talking
RIP.
about right there.
Yes, yes. Love us some DMX. So
Bring the
as we're
volume.
Ripping and running. We got it.
that's it. You know, all the things. So as we are sitting here enjoying ourselves, what are we sipping on today?
Well, I'm going to
And-
go ahead and throw mine out there because, you know, I'm going to be the bland one in the bunch.
Well, you know me, I'm bringing the recess. I'm almost ready for a recess, a long summer recess. I've got the lime citrus, and I poured it in, and I have smelt it, and then it smells so citrusy, and I am drinking it. And on this scorcher of a day that we've had today, it is so refreshing. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. What about you,
Good,
Kimmy?
Good.
Love it. I am one day away from recess. Tomorrow's my last day with my kids. Shout out to the class of 2029.
Aw.
So I have recess. It is grapefruit and tangerine. This was the last one. Well, technically, I have one more that I have to try. It wasn't in our pack. But I am not a grapefruit girly, but this is actually pretty good. And I will say the color is what does it for me. It is beautiful.
Mhm.
That very pretty orange. So pretty. I love
That
it.
was my
Such a
favorite.
little
That was
vibe.
actually my favorite out of all of the flavors.
See, my favorite was definitely the raspberry lemon. That was my favorite. I loved it. Delicious.
Yeah.
Lace, what about you?
And I've liked all of them too. The strawberry rosé was really good, but I really have to say that the lime citrus is probably my favorite right now. But like you, I have one that didn't come in the variety pack that I had sent you guys. So I'm really excited to try that one because, again, folks, 10 out of 10. Recess, you knocked it out of the park.
Yes, recess. We love it. Also, to pair with our magnesium drink, shout out to Karen. She gave us some magnesium lotion that we all are going to be trying later on this week. So we are looking forward to that. So shout out to you. We appreciate you. Jordan
Yeah, thank you, Karen.
Essentials, support her business. Yes,
Love that.
recess,
Shout
Jordan
out.
Essentials, all the things. So Lace, or not Lace, I'm so sorry. Even though, hey girl, guess what is on the lesson plan today?
Oh, we're going to think of life as kind of like that 2-liter bottle of soda that you might have. You know, you purchase it in the store and you're ready to get home and have a drink. So imagine actually walking through life, shaking that 2-liter bottle as you go along. So every unaddressed boundary that someone crosses, you shake it up. Every swallowed bit of resentment, you're shaking it up. Every time that you say, oh, it's fine, you give it a hard shake. So we keep thinking that if we just keep that lid tightly screwed on, everything's okay. That's our form of self-control. But what happens the moment that someone barely touches that cap and turns it? Man, we can end up with a whole mess a total blowout. So, our objective today is about learning how to sort of safely depressurize that bottle before that cap pops off and it ruins the entire room, the car, or someone else's life. So, we will navigate the inner thoughts of this trio and buckle up, people, because this can get extremely dicey. And we'll explore Bonnie's hot takes and probably several headaches as well. So, today I'm going to frame this in two specific areas. So, we're going to talk about cognitive dissonance and then somatizations. We're going to make this a little sciencey as well. So, cognitive dissonance is that mismatch, that mental mismatch. So, think of it as sort of that psychological discomfort you go through when your internal reality, your brain is saying one thing, but something completely different comes out of your mouth. So, there's that mismatch between that internal reality and that external behavior. So when that happens, your brain really has to work really hard to kind of reconcile the difference between, hold up, what did you say? I know you didn't just commit to this, and your real reality, and then it affects your internal, your body. So, somatization, think of that as kind of a physical leak, your brain leaking out because, hey, I can't handle all of this. So, that is that psychological distress. Kimmy mentioned petty in her opening. So, let's get into a little messiness. We all have those situations or those people where we have to control our face and control our tongue. So, how do you control your petty in those situations?
Kind of just how I just did. I take a deep breath, usually, always. And I remind myself of where I am, especially if I'm at work, and I think, okay, this would be funny. However, is that really appropriate? And so those are the things that I always try to, my little checklist that I try to run through. It doesn't always happen, but I go into it with that mindset of, okay, I really need to also look at my audience. Who is with me? Is this an appropriate response? So those are I do a little mental checklist to try to
So,
stop myself from being too outrageous.
so I'm hearing time and place. Time and place.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
What about you, Bonnie?
Well, for me, I don't think I do petty, but I also don't associate with people that are petty. I'm gonna, what did I say earlier? Say it and slay it. I'm just gonna say it how I see it. And if they don't, if they don't like it in that moment, they can walk away. They can, I'm gonna just, I don't like to keep things bottled up inside because it festers for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it eats away at me. And then I'm consumed by it until I actually am able to say it, to speak
Right.
my piece, to get it out. Because I would be like that. We don't call it soda, that pop bottle. I mean, you shake me up and I will explode all over. And I think because I was kind of like that as a young child, I was very vocal and angry or whatever. So I don't keep stuff bottled up because I know it's not good for me because it will eat away at me. Because I have learned from my past mistakes I'm not swallowing, I'm saying it and slaying it.
And we need to keep a list of Bonnieisms. That's what we're going to call it. Bonnieisms. I love that.
Oh,
I love that.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think
What about you?
I'm kind of in the middle of the two of you. The people who know me are probably thinking, oh, no, if she says that she's not petty, I can be, but I try to remember it's the emotional piece.
Mm-hmm.
What is the situation?
Mm-hmm.
Who is it with?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
is this going to be something I will regret later? A lot of times I'll just do it, I'll just say it, and I have zero regrets whatsoever.
She's telling the truth.
Absolutely. But there are some times where I don't know. It's that Michelle Obama says, if they go low, we go
We go
high.
high.
Oh,
Mhm.
I've been in that area where if they go low, we're going to hell. We're going all the way to the bottom.
We're going
Let's
lower.
go. Let's
Yeah.
go. But I have found that the pettiness is controlled by the situation and how that person is behaving. Sometimes
Mhm.
I'll take the route of this isn't worth it.
I do that sometimes too, but I also think that it's worth mentioning that as Black females, we have to be careful
Mm-hmm.
with our responses to certain things because of the way other people may take it. So I think that Gis and I definitely do a really good job of not being as petty as we could be,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes if this is a continual issue, and I will say, I don't really have people that try to come at me a whole lot and I have to deal with a lot of foolishness. But
Mm-hmm.
if you keep playing, you are going to get the petty back.
Right, right,
So, but I do try to reserve that for a time and a place because I know that other people can take it the wrong way. And then I
right,
look like a terrible person.
right. And I'll just go ahead and say it. It's that misnomer of the angry Black woman.
Mhm.
And so that kind of brings me to the contentions that society kind of creates, that
Mhm.
certain individuals fall into certain categories. But even if we take that out of the kind of racial component that society creates, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, thinking about work situations where you're expected or you're asked to do certain things and you know that it's not something that you really want to do, or it's not something that you can handle, but
Mhm.
in those moments you find yourself possibly agreeing, saying
Mhm.
yes, sure, I can do it, no worries, I got it.
Mhm.
So where do you both kind of fall in that? Do you find yourselves kind of creating that disconnect between your brain saying, "No, no, we can't do this. We don't need to." Okay, I can do it. When do you need it done?
So one of the things when I switched districts and moved up to the Northern Virginia area, I said to the person that was trying to kind of not convince me to go that route, but anyway, I said, "Look, I wore many hats at my old job. I'm done with that. I am just coming on as a health and phys ed teacher. I don't want to be department chair. I don't want to be like athletic director or anything like that. I just want to be one of the health and phys ed teachers." And that was all I was willing to do because I was not tired, but I'd done my share. I had bitten off a little more than I could chew.
Mhm.
And other people, felt like sometimes I was doing other people's jobs as well.
Mhm.
Mhm.
It was fine. I wasn't going to complain about it or whatever. And I definitely I felt appreciated most of the time, but I just didn't want to do that anymore. It's like, I've done my time, so to speak. I am being put out to pasture. I put myself out to pasture as I got ready for retirement. So I was like, I'm not doing it. So I just flat out don't do it anymore.
I love that. I love that. I'm going to say this and then I'm going to piggyback on what you said. I feel like, Kimbrell, we need to kind of keep tally marks
How many
of how
times I
many.
Of
say,
her
Yes,
retirement mentions.
I love. It tickles me every single time, and it works.
Uh-huh.
well, you got to speak it into, what do they say, existence?
Hmm.
Mhm.
You got to manifest it. That's what I'm trying to do
Yes.
here, people. I want to manifest it.
Well,
Well, we
speaking
love
of
that for you.
manifesting, I commend you for that, Bonnie, because your ability to you created boundaries for what
Mhm.
it is you do want and what you don't want to happen at this stage of your career and your life. I
Right.
think I'm just getting to that point.
Mhm.
And again, audience, I say a lot, if you look up horoscopes, Virgo, we take on a lot. And
Mhm.
every time I tell myself, no, I'm just going to do XYZ, that's it. I'm going to clock out. I'm going to walk out that door. I'm going to close that computer. But every single time I fall right back into that pattern of, I can get this done. Sure. And I think this time around, I'm doing a better job of creating those boundaries. But I don't know. It's just something about my personality that
Mhm.
makes me want to say yes, even though my body is saying, oh my
Mhm.
gosh, girl, I am going
Yeah.
to select the off button if you say yes one more time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you think you say yes in part because you feel like you're the best person to do the job? Like nobody could.
Yes.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
kn
Because I definitely
know.
say that with Kimmy
I
after
know.
working with
I
you
say
for.
yes
Mhm.
because a lot of the task, and I think Gist would say yes on a lot of the things too, because together she and I are able to, we did a lot of great things together. A lot of times I would have ideas and she would bring the efficiency, and sometimes the roles would reverse
Mhm.
where we would have it already mapped out and we knew exactly how to do it because we are very detail oriented people, and we
Mhm.
would watch other people do it and we would say, we need to do that because we could do
Mhm.
that better and faster. And there's two of us and it would be great. And so that's how we got into it together. We did enable each other. But then, like I said, everybody's heard during COVID, things started to shift, especially
Mhm.
I think when we got back into a little bit of normalcy and we were back in the building, then I think we started to see things a little differently and realize like, hey, this 207, this is our spot.
Mhm.
Mhm.
We will do anything to protect this area. We will take on whatever task. We will do whatever for in this area.
Mhm.
But we can't take on more than what's in here because it's not filling our cup the way it once did.
Right,
Oh
right, right.
yeah.
So, like I said, at one of our first episodes, I'm a recovering hustler and bustler. It's like
Mhm.
I am recovering in this area of saying yes when I really want to say no. I
Mhm.
still have a long way to go, like, don't get it twisted, but it is because I genuinely do feel like I can execute a task and I know how I want it done. So I'm just going to do it myself. Therefore, nobody can disappoint me or embarrass me,
Right.
or I have to do double work because y'all know I hate double work because I'm going to watch you do it, tear it up. Then I got to redo it. And I'm mad while I'm doing it. And I
Right.
say to myself, I should have just done this myself. And
And for
Right.
so,
me, I think I'm also like a protector. Like Kimbrough said, like we can control what's in this, we can protect this circle. And
mhm,
even in what I do now with working with employees, I do want to make sure you have what you need. So for
mhm.
me, yes, it's that, and I'm going to just go ahead and call it that perfectionism,
Oh,
but
absolutely.
it's that added layer of I want to make sure that you are all right.
Yes.
And that's a piece of my personality that I'm doing a lot better, like Kimbrough. A lot more reflection, but it's still like listening to my inner self.
Mhm.
And so I'm just going to go ahead and call myself out because these two ladies know sometimes when people are talking, and if they're talking to me for a long time, I zone out. So
Mhm.
now I actually, it's almost like I'm having an internal dialogue when I'm hyping myself up. Nope. Okay, you're going to say no, or you're going to say, this is what I can do. and then I'll give the rest of this to you. And the times when I open my mouth and that's not what comes out, it's like later there's this internal dialogue like, dang it, Shayna, why? We had this prepared.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, even when I am saying yes, I'm doing a lot better with setting deadlines that are within my boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
So everything seems to go back to boundary making.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, boundary setting is huge. But it's funny when you talk about this, it reminds me of a lesson that when I talk to students about effective communication, being an effective communicator, your body language has to match your words. And it's funny because when you're talking about your words and your internal body's going, no, 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 no. Why are you shaking your head? Yes. Why are you
Mm-hmm.
giving a thumbs up like you can do this? So it is funny how to be an effective communicator, your gestures, your whatever you're saying should support what it is you're saying. And you're sitting there telling the person, oh, sure, I can do this. And on the inside, you're screaming at yourself going, no, you can't. We
Mm-hmm.
can't do one more thing. What are you doing?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I told someone at work a couple of days ago, maybe last week, because everyone's plates are full. It's getting close to the end of the fiscal year and talking about the task and how I'm going to do XYZ to make it a lighter lift for that person. And I said, because I know you have a lot on your plate. Who am I kidding?
Yeah.
You don't even have a plate
Right.
anymore. Everything is all across the
Mm-hmm.
table. And everyone was like, yeah, you're right. But I'm going to carve out this little piece right here to make that a little bit easier. And like Kimbrough said, I know my level of efficiency,
Mm-hmm.
and that's going to help us all out so that I don't have to come back and do whatever else to kind of fix
Right.
and clean it up. So,
Absolutely.
with that being said, and I know, Bonnie, I don't think you're going to have much of an issue with this, so you might even be able to give us some advice or even our listeners. So, thinking about the times when we are so quick to say yes about something, and take a minute to think about this. What is the most exhausting lie that you are currently telling yourself or someone else just to kind of keep things moving forward?
Okay. So sorry for that shock face, but um, I thought about
Things
work.
happen.
I know, right? It's just like just dropping off here. I thought about I could use the work example, but I think honestly, it's motherhood and trying to balance a house and work.
Mhm.
And I feel like I can get all of the things done and you really can't. Well, I really can't.
Right.
And I will say I have accepted a lot of it, but still with that Virgo perfectionism, like there's always one more thing
Yes.
that you want to get done. And it's reminding yourself, I'm not a failure if I don't get this done.
Mhm.
And reminding yourself of look at how much I have accomplished, but there's still so much more to go. And so it's hard. Like I will get bogged down in all of the other things
Mhm.
that I have left that I'm trying to juggle. So I think that is where I tell myself the biggest lie I think is that I can still do all the things. And in reality, I can't.
Yeah, and I think a lot of our listeners will agree as moms, no matter what stage of
Hmm.
mommyhood you're in. Um, and also, she's back!
Sorry, guys.
Yay!
Oh, so
Yes.
So, Bonnie, we were just talking about the biggest lie kind of that we tell ourselves, and Kimmy was talking about motherhood and balancing a house and being able to actually handle it all. And so I was just adding, yeah, I think not only moms, like parents in general, we get into, yes, kids have these schedules, that hustle and bustle we talked about, and we can manage it. We have to manage it. And that's just kind of that perception that we have within ourselves. And like you said, we feel like a failure. And that's where that, if we don't accomplish it, and that's where that positive self talk can kind of dissipate some of that negative. I know I'm working on that myself. Just to piggyback on what you were saying about being able to do all the things. Like, we just moved into this house. We're trying to unpack, still working, helping Bria with planning her wedding. Like, all of these things are happening. And just the other night, he was saying, hey, there seem to be a lot of like not so good things that you're thinking about. And that really jolted me because I'm happy. Like, we are checking off the box of what we wanted to accomplish. And I didn't realize I had that outward manifestation, like something was wrong. So I guess
Right.
that lie that I was telling myself, he was actually seeing it because he knows me so well. And that lie is, I've got
Right.
this. Everything's okay. And it is okay. But sometimes internally, we kind of conflate an issue and it's sort of like, oh no, the sky is falling, but it's really not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I totally get what you're saying. For sure. And that's when it's very important to remind yourself of all the things that you have in life to be thankful for. Um, and that you're blessed with, because those thoughts, you do have them when you think about it, and all the things that, that one little thing that goes wrong could just mess up your whole vibe.
Absolutely. So it makes me think about when you were talking about motherhood and all of that going on there. When I was married and we were active duty and far away from home, went to several different duty stations. And then before you build your family there, because you have to restart every time you move, because you're going to a new place where you don't know anybody. And so and then of course your spouse deploys or he goes TDY or whatever. So you're then single mom or single dad or whatever, and you're trying to take it all on yourself. And you're like, you keep telling yourself, I can do this, I can do this. And it is just a downright lie. You need to build that support fast, because ultimately if you go back to work or whatever, kid's going to get sick, you're going to need some support somewhere to be able to get you through it, especially when your spouse is deployed.
Right.
I mean, we signed on for 2 people to be here doing this job and raising this family. And ultimately especially in the military, that person would be gone, a lot. So that was challenging. And I think that was something that I kept telling myself, it's fine. It's okay. That's what we signed up for. And it really wasn't. It was hard.
Yeah.
And I think something you said is really important about like building that community and just kind of piggybacking off of that. It's good to have people in your life that are able to identify and create that balance where they can outwardly say, oh no, I realize I committed to this, but in reality, I can't do XYZ. Or they can reach out and ask for that assistance. I will say, Bria, my daughter, my oldest, she was on a previous episode. She does a fantastic job of kind of organizing and compartmentalizing aspects and being able to reach out and say, hey, this is what I need to happen. Can you do XYZ? Or even if it's sending a voice memo so that she can get those thoughts out and so that she can kind of redirect herself. I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
I'm getting to that point, but just having someone to be able to model that for you is important.
That's really nice. And it's kind of interesting how it's your daughter modeling it for you. That's amazing.
Yeah. Because mom's a hot mess.
I was just going to say, I think and I mean, this might just be a me thing, and if it is, that's okay too. I do think that sometimes we do tell ourselves these little lies as a protection, though, like a protection of ourselves, of like, I can't dwell on this being hard. I have to think that this is okay and I'm going to move past it. I'm not saying I'm not going to deal with that feeling of it being hard or share that it's hard. But for me, my mental is everything. And I have to believe that I can do this, that I'm going to come out of the other side of it or whatever. I really learned throughout like being pregnant. It was your mental that made it through a lot of moments. Because I was like, if I can mentally believe that I can do this, I can stay in it. If for a minute I let that negative thought creep in that I can't do this, that, I'm sick of this, it's like the wind is coming out of my sails and it's hard to regroup,
That's that growth
if
mindset,
that makes
Kimmy.
sense.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't have that fixed mindset. You got to have that. So I think that's really
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
And the mind is a
Yeah. So
powerful
I
thing.
just think,
Mhm.
yes, yes. And so I do think that we are touching on a lot of good things. Like, I want people to acknowledge, like, yes, you need an outlet, you need some support where you can share your thoughts and all of these things so that they don't stay bottled up. But I also want to make sure that you keep your mental and know that you can overcome or make it through whatever situation that you're in.
Yeah.
And that
Right,
might be a word
right.
for myself, but I just wanted to make sure that I
Would
shared
that be
that.
the power of
No,
suggestion?
I'm sure that a lot of people can really relate.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that
I
seems
definitely
like
got
a
deeper than
good
I
spot. Yes, yes. Look,
yikes.
group therapy again. We should
Right?
invite
Because I
Bria
got a
back.
little teary for a moment. Yowzers.
So I will say, since we just said that I said the group therapy thing, that's why this core group, the two of you, are so important to me and for me as a part of my life and my growth mindset. Because, I mean, a lot of changes have been happening for the last year or so. And the two of you constantly are reminding me, oh, you got this. Even in the moments when it's like, no, I don't. But it's like you can find your footing. And it's that belief that in that moment, if you do feel
Mhm.
like you're spiraling, things are too heavy, you feel yourself telling yourself all those little white lies that things are okay when they're not, but remembering you're going to get there
Right.
Mhm.
is so important.
Yeah,
Right.
and I'll do a piggyback because you two are very important to me too. But you guys keep me centered. You keep me grounded, right, and connected. Because there are times, especially after Jenny got sick and stuff, that I really didn't feel connected like I had with that friendship I had with her. And yeah, I had the glue crew and they're amazing, and I definitely have a strong connection with them. But being with you guys like this now, I mean, it really has been so soothing and healing for my heart. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. So thank you guys. Look at
Thank
us
you.
turning it up totally different circle right now.
Yeah. I just want to say, me crying on the internet
I know I'm
every
trying not
week,
to. It's so crazy.
I'm like already
I know.
teary. Like I told y'all, I am an emotional being. Like,
Mhm.
woo, it doesn't take a whole
Me
lot,
either.
but I'm not even gonna bother telling these two how much they mean to me. They already
Yeah.
know what it is.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to attempt to put it into words at this point because Bonnie just pushed me over the
Sorry.
edge. And I'm
I
giving
was just doing
myself
a
a pep talk
piggyback.
right now. No, and I love a
Yeah, I
piggyback.
know.
That's gonna be like one of my sayings. I think if we did a poll, people would be like, "Oh, she always says piggyback,"
Look, another tally.
Yep.
or something is outrageous. Those are my favorite things that I say. But it's like these are the things when you're like having a tough mental moment, it's you think of the people who can I go to
Yes.
in situations like this when I feel like I am a bottle of pop that someone has shaken me, and how am I going to be centered? How am I going to, be grounded? And the two of you are people that I know I can call on, and I'm not someone who, and y'all know this, who typically gives my problems to people to bear, because I don't want to be a burden for anybody. But I have gotten better with being like, oh, this is crazy, or I'm overwhelmed, or whatever it is, just because that's a feelings journey that I went on myself,
Mhm.
of learning how to deal with my own emotions so that I don't bottle things up, and kind of work through it. And I think, these are just all hard things that when you put in the work and it's hard,
Mhm.
you feel better for it.
Right. And I'm glad you said feel better because like that somatization, your
Mhm.
body keeps the score. So
For
and
sure.
that's the title of a book. I think I mentioned it in one of our casual conversations. I forget the author. Even though that book is primarily talking about trauma, it
Mhm.
still kind of coincides to what we were talking about. When you are stressed, when you are that having that disconnect between what you really can handle versus what you're taking on,
Mhm.
that's when you're having anxiety, you can't sleep because you're going through that mental list of everything that
Mhm.
you've committed to. So everything manifests in your body until it can be released. And having those people that you can go to can kind of take that emotion that's bottled up and maybe
Mhm.
turn it into like a positive emotion, whether it is, hey, I need to cry it out.
Right.
Or I need to actually laugh at myself because I'm losing my mind.
Mhm.
Yes.
That's what you need in that moment. So,
Yeah.
with that being said, I think this might be a good spot for some hot takes and headaches, Bonnie.
All
Yeah.
right, here we go. So, this is a big hot take I felt was appropriate for what we were talking about. My peace is not up for negotiation. Take it personally if you want, and some folks need to be offended for that healing to begin. But again, my peace
Mhm.
is not up for negotiation. Anything come to mind for you guys when I say that?
Oh, for sure for me. And I've talked about my whole journey in life because I think I compromised my peace a
Mhm.
lot,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
not only
Oh,
from when I
yes.
was younger, but even into adulthood. And
Mhm.
honestly, losing my mom, I've never felt as lost and disheveled ever in my life.
Mhm.
So losing her forced me to figure out like where is my peace and knowing that I needed to find it so I didn't lose
Mhm.
myself further in that grief. And it's still hard,
Mhm.
but protecting my peace now manifests as okay, I'm going to tell you no on this. And if you get upset, I don't really care. Or
Right.
if I give you the response that you really don't want and you want to be upset, you can spend your energy spinning your wheels angry at me because, and this is going to be morbid, but y'all know I can be morbid. I lost my mom. There's no lower that I can
Mhm.
go and you can't take me there because I'm already at that lowest point.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I'm protecting my peace. I'm protecting my family's peace. They are the most important thing, the people I feel close to. And I'm sorry. You're just going to have to be upset and deal with it or have a tummy ache. That somatization, it, can manifest in your body, but not in mine.
Right.
Okay.
No, I agree for sure.
All right. And so
Love it.
also hearing you guys talk about, and I know you guys definitely spread yourself thin, but you have to realize, not you guys specifically, but people out there in general, being available 24/7 is not a personality trait. It is a problem. Constant accessibility
Mhm.
is the fastest route to resentment. And you have to hear this
Yes.
too. No is a complete sentence.
Oh, say that one more time.
No is a complete sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Practice it.
Yes, for sure. And I definitely think we learned that.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say we learned it the hard way, but in a way we did.
Not in a way.
Well, okay, we
We
did
did.
during
But
COVID.
we
We did learn
enjoyed
it.
it. We enjoyed it.
No,
We did
we
good work.
did. And I literally I didn't think Gis and I could get any closer than we were. And then COVID happened. And while it was so much work, because we are the type of people who, well, I'm more of the type of person who tries to find joy in all of the crazy. Because Gis is like, oh my God, what are you doing? Like, we had a blast. Like, it became a lot of fun with the way we structured our class, and we had so many kids that would come to school, even if they were just coming for our class. It was a lot of fun to have a studio audience, as we called it. And then we had our kids at home. So we were available for them 24/7. And I don't think we took it on as a personality trait. We were meeting the needs of our kids.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also who you
And
are.
yes.
Yeah.
And so it got a little problematic, and we've learned from it, but
Yeah.
like I always say, no regrets.
Good. Good. All right. So my headache, well, I actually have a couple, but the first headache it was really more for my benefit. And I'm not going to go into real specific details, but basically family members who think blood overrides boundaries. But we're family. You hear that all the time. That's
Mhm.
not a hall pass for being taken advantage of or being disrespected. And I have to stand by that.
Yeah. True. So true. So
Yeah,
true.
proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then the last headache I have for you guys. People who act brand new when you stop overgiving, suddenly you're different, you're distant, or you're selfish. Like, what? Has that ever happened to you? Because it's happened to me.
I'm trying to think. I don't really think I actually have an example of this one.
Had a really, really good friend, and I thought we were like, and she was one of my first adult friends. And Jim was enlisted at the time, and then he got accepted to officer training school. So then he was going to go from the enlisted ranks to the officer ranks, and which also meant we were moving and stuff. So at that time too, I wasn't as available to her as I kind of was before. And then all of a sudden, without any warning, she totally removed herself from my situation and was like, I was being different. She was acting like I was being different because we were going from enlisted ranks into the officer ranks. And I thought, what? So anyway, I do have some personal experience with that. And that actually was devastating to me because I adored her. Not anymore. Being petty? No, just kidding. Just saying.
Oh, goodness.
All right, ladies.
You're something else, Lace. You were something else.
If I'm not laughing, I'm crying. So here you are. I try to find the humor in things.
Goodness.
That's so
It's good
important.
medicine.
Actually.
Yeah.
And you have to.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to laugh to keep from crying
That's right.
because, whew, life gets heavy.
Mm-hmm. It sure does.
All right. So speaking of heaviness, to close out, Kimmy, do we have any announcements for our audience?
You know that we do. So before we close out, of course, please, please, please make sure you are following us on social media so you don't miss all of the chaos in between episodes. So you can
There's a
find us
lot.
on Instagram. Yes, at unfiltered and unbothered _3. That is unfiltered and unbothered _3 for the trio. Facebook, we are Unfiltered and Unbothered Podcast. We are also on X, and we are at UAU_podcast for unfiltered thoughts in real time. Please feel free to come hang out with us there, drop your opinions, and tell us about the things you keep bottled up, but you should let go. You never know, we might feature it on the pod. And if you're not into socials, have no fear. You can always send us an email to share any thoughts about episodes, give us some ideas on some upcoming topics, all of the things. So email us at unfiltered.8.unbothered@gmail.com.
Thank
And
you.
those are
Thank
my
you.
announcements. Yes.
Awesome. So, all right, everyone. So, the only people who get upset when you stop
I think I got
bottling
kicked out
things up
again.
are ones who are probably comfortably benefiting from your silence and riding the peace train until it runs out of steam. So, we challenge you this week and going forward to look at the landscape of your life. Identify one metaphoric jar or bottle that you have actually hidden away way back on the shelf, the recess of your mind or your heart. And I want you to answer this one question for yourself. What conversation right now are you just keeping bottled up or avoiding just to keep some level of fake peace? And what is the exact boundary that you are sacrificing in order to do so? Whatever you do the rest of this week, remember, stay unbothered and unfiltered as well. Have a great one, everyone. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Still unfiltered and unbothered.
Oh, and one more thing. Before we go, just a reminder that the opinions shared today are ours and ours alone and do not represent any other entity. Nothing discussed in this episode should be used as legal advice or representation, nor should be construed as medical advice. We are not your professionals, so please seek help from a qualified expert for your specific situation. Unfiltered and Unbothered LLC and its hosts assume no liability for your use of this information. We'll see you next time.